One. So, Liam, what's going on, my man?
Well,
How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Thanks for having me on. How are you?
Listen, I'm delighted that you're on. We were just talking about the iPhone 14. You know, I got that iPhone 14. I got the Pro Max. Which one do you have?
I have just the ordinary, the Pro. Is it the Pro?
The
Not
Pro Max.
not the bigger one anyway. But it's that or a great machine. I love it.
They're
Absolutely love
unbelievable.
it.
Yeah, like I got this Pro Max for work now. If I actually wasn't working, I wouldn't have got that one.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think too much money. €1,200.
Yeah, they're dear. They're dear. Very dear. Yeah, but like they're brilliant though. Like your reminders, you put everything into them. You'd be lost without them. Who would have ever thought?
I know,
10,
right?
15, 20 years ago that your phone was more important than anything. It's mad.
It's unbelievable.
Mad,
Unbelievable.
mad.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I haven't had the flu there but a month ago, and I was working from home, and all I needed was my phone.
Yeah,
That's all I needed.
that's it.
And it actually kind of hit me. It was like, Jesus, this is
Yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah. That's it. The amount
And
that you can do on it now, it's just crazy.
it's
Great
mad,
though. It's making life very easy.
isn't it? Isn't it just? Actually, it was funny. I was thinking about the interview last night, and I was watching. I actually went onto YouTube and I was watching some of the bowling World Championships.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. Are you up to
Serious.
speed on it or not?
Not really,
But-
but there's some serious bowlers there. You'd be looking at it. There's just the Sky Sports do that cup every year. The main thing, I'm not sure the name, but now for the bowling, it's just phenomenal to watch them. My God,
Unbelievable.
they don't miss a pin. If they miss one, if they miss one pin in their game of bowling, like they're totally distraught. Like just one pin.
One pin, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, I have to say, like, I wouldn't be a big bowling nut, but, like, I went on YouTube last night on the phone, and I saw the World Championships in America. That some Strather guy or something.
Right. Yeah.
And just watching, they were in a final, the two of them down. I mean, Fox News cover it. Fox News, like sports.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's huge. Now, of course, it is massive in America. You know. Absolutely massive. I mean, I was in Vegas a few years ago and went to a bowling alley. I mean, it just blow you away. I think there was 100 and something lanes.
Yeah.
It's just like you stand in one end of it. I just walked in and went, "Oh my God, look at the size of this!" You know,
Ridiculous.
But I know it's a football thing too, and they have the massive populations in America. But it is huge in America, all right? Huge in America. But
yeah, like. How many bowling lanes? Like I've got a couple of clients in America, yeah, but I just didn't realize actually
how big.
Yeah,
Huge, absolutely. They're on a massive scale. Yeah.
unbelievable.
But
I mean,
it's popular, and I think it has always been popular. The great thing about the bowling is, and I've seen it here now since long time here now, since 2008. How the years go by, but anyway. I see it here. Like literally everybody can bowl. Everybody.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about it. You know, I mean, you know, there's lots of things people can't. Like a lot of people can't just pick with say a football. People can't play football at different ages or whatever. You know, tennis racket. You can't pick up a tennis racket and go out and start lashing a tennis ball if you're whatever age. If you're, you know, so from that point of view, it's great that everybody can play. You know, and I think that's we see it here. I mean, and literally everybody can play, and that's probably the appeal of it. To be honest, it's probably one of the few sports that everybody can take part in. You know, and it's, that kind of way it's good. You know, but it's popular. It's popular all over the country.
and I was watching these guys. Like, I mean, I come from a racing background. You know, trying to be an athlete as best as I can, healthy food, going to the gym 3 to 4 hours a day. You know, because you got to be prepared. You got to be a professional level. And like, so then it was fascinating to me because these two professional guys, you know, they weren't in shape.
No.
You know, there's a bit of a belly on one of them. And you're like,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, I suppose it's a different way. It's technique with the hand, really. That's it in a nutshell. And the swing of the arm and the spin on the ball. That's how they do it.
And is it kind of like golf where? Well, I suppose no, maybe not golf. Whereas okay, if you're a tall guy over 6 foot, you chances are you probably have a better swing in golf.
Yeah.
But then but then when you get bowling, is it sort of
it's just
more
rhythm.
weight you can put into the ball?
It's just the rhythm. It's the rhythm of the swing and to let the ball go at the right exact second to put the spin on the ball. If you imagine the lanes are oiled.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
But the last X amount before the pins is dry.
Right.
It's not oil. So you notice when the ball goes flying down the lane, you'll see it and it looks to be off out to one side. And then just as it comes, we'll say maybe whatever amount of 6 foot from the pins, it suddenly goes whoop off in a different direction and right down the middle, or just hitting the bang on the side or whatever. And you wonder, how did that happen? Well, what it is it's gone down the aisle and then it hits the dry ground.
Okay.
And that bump sets it across. So look at it. It's like everything. I suppose some people are just naturally good at it, but it takes a lot of practice for the real good bowlers. It's no different to you with the athletics or golf or any other sport in that sense. I know they might have, as you said, wouldn't be in the best of shape, but they put the hours and the hours and the hours and the hours in at that level. So in that sense, it's when you're at that level, it's no different to any other sport, really.
And how many, like the professionals now, how many hours would they put in a day?
I'm sure it's no different. Like I said, you look at the darts. Look at the darts boys, the same thing, and they'll tell you they spend every hour of every day. It's like their day up in the morning, practice when they're professional. Now I know it's only a small amount in the bowling end of it. There are, well, certainly there'll be no professional bowlers in Ireland, but full times. But as far as I know, but in America there would be, obviously, because there's good money in it, in the top out there, But, but again, it's like any sport. You have to put the hours in. That's it. You have to put the practice, and
100%.
It's phenomenal to watch them, though. But
it's unreal,
like but
the way it just slings back in. Why do they have why is the bowling lane dry at the end?
Well, that's what makes it go. If you imagine it goes down, and once it hits that, then it takes the friction off the ball, and that's where the knack comes in. Once it hits that, then it levels off, and so their trick is to have the right spin on it and to let it land at the right, go from the oily part where it's just kind of spinning, then onto the dry part, and boom.
So the wetness of the lane. Excuse my innocence now on this, but so the wetness of what do you call it? The wetness of the lane?
Oil, it's kind of like, if you imagine, it's kind of like slipping. Now, there's not a lot of oil. It's just, but it's very fine, very little difference. It's and again, we're not into the elite level here with ourselves because we don't have professional bowlers as such here in. So it's not as big a thing. The amount of people that would come in here and doing what they're doing would be very tiny. You'd have nobody. We used to, sometimes people come in. We've had a few over the years that would come in and do a bit of practice, and that's that's as far as it'd go with us. But I know a couple of other centres do in Dublin would be more into the league bowling, and where there'd be a higher level of, not professional, but they'd be having their competitions and that.
Yeah.
But for us, it's families, really, and it's fun. It's fun. So it's not to the same. We don't have that. Rarely have that type of person coming in, But
yeah. And just back to that. So like the oil on the lane, it allows the bowler to what I suppose like tee up the spin, and then at the end.
Yeah, and it's kind of it's spinning on the kind of on the oily surface, and then when it comes off the oily surface, it obviously it's going onto dry ground, so that will change the ball. It'll make the ball act differently.
Right. So they've got to set up the ball on the oil, and then at the end, then when
it hits the dry, yeah.
What? Okay, right. So actually, they've won the strike or whatever. They've made their strike at the oil. It has to be by then.
It has to be by then. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because they've got to hit it, and the other thing that I discovered with the bowling myself, I don't do a lot of it. Typical, it's like anything in any business. But if you throw the ball again, I wouldn't be. But if you throw the ball, which I would have always thought for the front pin and hit it, that will automatically. If you hit it bang on, you'd imagine the other 9 would go boom, boom, boom. But that doesn't work.
Right.
You rarely hit them bang in the centre, and that they'll knock all the pins, if you know what I mean. So they have to come at them at the side. If you see, you'll see it with the pros that are at it.
Yeah, I was actually going to come around to that. Yeah.
Because they to get all the pins to fall, it's a bit of a job. Usually, well, in my case, there's always one left. The one in one corner will be left. Even if you hit it, I've often hit it bang in the middle, and you'd see it going down just about to hit it and go, oh yeah, nice one, boom, and it'll go, and one little lad will be left standing like that. But if you look at these boys, whatever, they come into it, and the ball comes in kind of from the side, just behind the first pin, I notice, where it takes out the first pin, but it's able to nearly get in behind it for the blast, and that then pushes the whole lot out. You know, that's an art in itself, you know.
It is. That the skill these guys have is
unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. It's seriously impressive. When I watched that last night, I was like, Jesus, you know, or this morning. And like the money you were saying, like the prize money, what kind of money would these guys be winning?
Not sure, but to be honest, I mean, decent money now in like, I haven't actually been too off air with Peter, but to be honest, like, it'd be their living. Do you know, to be on decent money? Yeah. So it's
a couple of million for a win, sort of thing?
Not sure if it's that level now, but I wouldn't think it'd be up to there, you know. But certainly like a few $100,000 at different tournaments type, you know.
Gee, that's great money.
Yeah. You know, it keeps them happy. But as I say, we don't have that in Ireland here. It's much more friendly. Now we do have, and it's absolutely phenomenal to watch them. The closest we can get that I've seen to any sort of a professional level is once a year we do the regional finals of the Special Olympics.
Oh, right.
I think it's around October. We have it's the Leinster region finals. We have them for 2 days. We've been doing it for years now, and you'd want to see the way they bowl. It's absolutely unbelievable. Like that's as close to professional as I've seen. You know.
Okay.
It's phenomenal. You know, the level that you can get to if you practice. You know.
Practice.
Whereas, you know, like 90% of the time with our client, with our customers, it's not. It's just they're in for fun, you know, and it is great fun, and it's great because, you know, you can have little competitions between yourselves, families, and, you know, you'd often see the daddy, mammy, and the kids come in, and the kids will beat the daddy and mammy, which is great for them, you know.
Jesus!
It's great again, you know. It's because it's not a strength thing, or it's not, you know, like a small child can throw the ball down the lane and get a strike, and daddy or mammy can throw it stronger down the lane and still only get a strike, if you know, or maybe not get a strike. So it's fun sometimes to watch the competitions between families. It can be very good, very good.
Yeah. But, and like, what's your most popular package now or activity there you have for the bowling? Is it a family thing, or is it dating, or
no?
Families
would be our most would be our most popular. We'd have family specials and bits and pieces like that. But no, families birthday parties are huge. So you'd have groups of kids coming in. Evening times, then you're trying to get more would say the late teens, early 20s. I'm generalising, but everybody comes in at any time. But just on the general run of things, that's kind of the way it goes. You know, we'd have families, a lot of families. Yeah, you know. But again, it's the great thing about it is it's the full range. Granny, grandfather comes in with the kids and the whole lot, so everybody's able to get involved. And it's great to see it, and I must say I'm enjoying it. I kind of came into this business by chance, but that's neither here nor there. But I love it because it's lovely to see. I've always said to the staff here, and it's a thing I try and do all the time. I said what they've got to remember is when people come in through our door, you know, they want to come in to be entertained. They want to come in. They want to come in to enjoy themselves. They want to forget about the crap that's going on in this world. So it's important that way, and it's great. It is great, and it's lovely to see it. It's probably the only job I've ever seen in my life that why I enjoy it so much, Peter, is when I come in. 9 out of 10 people are smiling when they come in the door. Nearly 10 out of 10. But so one of the parents might be stressed with a party or something. But no, in general, so people want to be happy. Whereas there's a lot of jobs where it's you know yourself, in a lot of jobs people are just miserable, and it's just horrible, and it's that the other, and all the trials and tribulations of the world are on everybody, which they are, because times are tough and always were. But that's a great thing about it in that sense. People in general come in. Now, you mentioned the dating. It's not something that we've seen, but I mean, probably people would be here on dates and we wouldn't know, if you get me. Because you would get a lot of couples coming in, younger couples and that, but whether they're dating or not. But actually, it would be good for a date when I think about it.
Yeah, because it's funny, because as you know, I do this the dating now, and my listeners and followers, they know that I do this, and I'm trying to help out many people trying to get a date, trying to get out of their way in their head, because I think a lot of people put up obstacles in their head because they're terrified of having a date or having a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and it's shocking to see. And
I know,
and I've studied psychology for years. Like, people know I'm not an expert on this, but I suppose maybe I'm a good shoulder to cry on. But like, I'm always trying to then like recommend, what's a great first date. And I've created these dating groups now.
Okay.
And for different age groups, and there's people all around from Ireland. I think it's 2,000 members so far, and it's growing, which is great to see. But like, a lot of the questions come up a lot of the time is about the first date and where do you go? And like, I was actually suggesting, even before we did this podcast, like about a month ago, I was saying to people, well, guys, I reckon bowling or karting, or, if you're going outdoors, okay, fair enough, you're not going to go bowling. But if you're going indoors, like, you grab a couple of beers with each other.
It's very informal. It's very, it's very, very easy. Yeah. Oh, no, it's ideal. Absolutely ideal. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
And I genuinely think that it would be one of the top indoor activities that I would suggest for anybody for dating.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And I even created a poll there. I think it was about 2 weeks ago now. I did a poll on Facebook, and I put up 3 options. It was bowling, karting, outdoor, and it was something else. But bowling won about 80% of the vote.
Yeah.
You
see, it's fun, as you say. It's informal. You can kind of get to know somebody, your hours bowling or whatever there, and it's you have the distraction of bowling, plus the when you hit a shot, it's you can have the laugh and it breaks the ice. It's absolutely ideal, perfect for that. You couldn't get better, to be honest.
It does break the ice, doesn't it? Yeah,
completely. So that's again, we've like I said, we probably have had loads of people in on dates, but we wouldn't know. But I suppose it's not something we never pushed, a date night.
Oh, well, look, I mean, obviously you don't want to be interrupting people, which is understandable. Of course.
But no, I do see this. It's definitely a good activity for that,
And like, before coronavirus, speaking of, bad times and the war and all this crazy carry on, like, before coronavirus, not before coronavirus, but like, what do you see now in the difference in just people in general, not necessarily in the bowling alley, but just people in general before and after coronavirus, a year on after corona?
A year after corona. Well, my own opinion on that now, to be honest, Peter, is coronavirus, that corona, it affected an awful lot of people. It had a huge effect on people in their teens.
Yeah.
Massive effect. Even in their early 20s. They've lost 2 years of their lives. That's what I say, and you get back to the dating and the this and meeting one another and going out and socialising and all that. They lost it in the time when they really needed it. Look, people like us that are a bit older, definitely, we get on with it. We lost 2 years of our lives too, but it wasn't as important as the 2 years that a certain amount of a certain cohort of the population lost. That to me is the saddest thing about the virus, what it did to people. you know, and it has a lasting effect, and you can still see it. It's now people are coming back to normal, and they are, and we're great. Humans adapt anyway. We're fantastic at that. That's just the way we were made. But yeah, no, but it's not. It's good to see it. It is coming. It's. I won't. It is back. I'd say it is back. It seems to be. We're past. I think. Right. You know, you don't see much about it as much anymore. You know, and hopefully that's the way it'll be. You know, but it certainly has left a lasting impression on a lot of people, and something that they'll never get back. That's you know. But,
I think, I mean, for like you were saying, even for us, we're a little bit older now, but like even the college students, I mean, you know, imagine.
That's what I'm saying. Like they had, you know.
I can't imagine what it was like coming out of, let's say, sixth year, and then all of a sudden, boom, you missed the first 2 years of your college.
Yeah. Absolutely terrible. But even going on a few years later, I mean, I've two kids, two lads, and the youngest fella, it affected him because he was going out. Now he's working in the whole lot. He was going out, and then suddenly, boom, he had to stop for months, both going out and working. You know, and what do? He sits in front of an Xbox all day, and that's what an awful lot of people did. And the problem is then that the habit was there. So when the coronavirus went, it was very hard to kick the sitting in front of an Xbox all day job. So
100%.
This was a big, and I've seen it with him now. He's grand now. He's gone on and he's headed off to Canada for an adventure and do a bit of work. But again, it robbed people, and I've seen it firsthand. It robbed people of 2 years of their lives, which was sad, really, very sad, you know. But
very sad, very sad.
But I should say it was, and they're the people that are, I think they're forgotten about. You know, there's not much being said about that because they're young and because they're, you know, hardy, I suppose is the wrong word to use, but, you know, the virus didn't affect them as much as other age brackets, obviously, and different things, you know. So they tended to be not really thought about, but from the mental health end of it, it's a huge thing. Huge.
Yeah,
you know,
it is. I'm seeing it now on the dating apps. I mean, I started off with the dating apps where I was like telling people some of my horror stories of dating back in the days. And then it kind of snowballed into a couple of girls were asking me a few questions. And this was kind of just before coronavirus. Yeah. And then and it kind of snowballed into then I was telling them what most men think. So like I said, you know, I'm always telling people, hey, Jesus, you know, lads, I'm no expert. I'm just telling you exactly what a guy thinks, you know. Well, most guys think, in case I get any trouble from listeners here. But like then it went from that into coronavirus and people were having meltdowns. But now, I'm kind of thinking like you, that one day I feel like everybody's back to normal. And then all of a sudden, 1 week later, you're at Monday or Tuesday morning and people are emailing, contacting me and saying, hey, Peter, what do you think of this? My boyfriend did ABC, XYZ. And what they're asking is, like, they're asking you, can you ask your listeners or your followers what they think? What's their opinion? So people are putting up their comments. Right. And then people are, you know, and it's nice. People feel safe that because I don't call out their name on you know, so it's all anonymous. But like the last couple of weeks have been an absolute war zone. When it comes to dating. What I've seen on social media has been absolutely unbelievable. It was like when we just came back out of coronavirus, January 22. I don't get it, man. I don't get where it's going. Like I said, I agree with you one way where I feel like everybody's back to normal. Give me 7 days later.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Oh no, I had a conversation with a guy the other day, and this is part of it as well. And just general conversation. We were talking about something was in a shop, blah, blah, blah. And it just came up about going out for a drink. No, I gave that up, he said, completely. I said, what? No, don't go out anymore. I said, what do you mean? No. Oh, no, I said, I was always a great man. He said, I used to go out every weekend, he said, and I'd go down and have me a few pints and blah, blah, blah. And then the virus came, he said, and I never drink at home. And I was there after about 6 weeks into it, he said, and I said, you know, I think I'll try a few cans because pubs and everything were anyway. He said, after I got a few cans, he said, and that was grand. He said, I have me a few cans now every weekend, he said, and No, I don't go out anymore. The lads asked me there last week, there's some fight coming up, and they said, Johnny, come on, you'll have to come out and watch it. No, absolutely not. I'm staying at home, blah, blah, blah. He said, the missus wants me to go to a wedding. There's some wedding coming up of someone, he said, in July. He said, I told her, no, off you go. If you want to go, on you go to the wedding, blah, blah, blah. So there's the effect of coronavirus on some. Yeah. There's the effect where they won't go out anymore, as in socialising. And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of people. Now, his way of blowing it off was that, well, actually, with the price of drink, I can get my cans much cheaper, blah, blah, blah. But it's not that. It's not that. He's in, I know we're creatures of habit, but he just got into the habit of not going out. And all of a sudden now, the norm is to sit at home and have the few cans and watch telly. But that
still is.
And that's not good.
No.
You know, like, give out about pubs or give out about alcohol and this, that, the other. Everything can be abused in life. But the one good thing about the pub is that you actually get to talk and meet people and chat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Now I'm just picking the pub. It can be anywhere. It can be a restaurant, or it can be, you know, whatever. Any social activity you're doing. But it's a pity. And there's your coronavirus again. Yeah. What it's doing to people, you know, and it's not being broadcast about either. You don't see your media highlighting this. The media have never highlighted what it's done to young people. The media have never highlighted how people have turned into, and particularly I see then it destroyed a lot of older people.
Yeah.
Right? Where they just refuse to go into crowds anymore. So I suppose while 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago we're saying, yes, back to normal. Of course it's not. You know, we just let the liars of ourselves there, P. So I suppose it's not back to normal, but I suppose to come back to it in our business here and watching families come in and that kind of thing, it's virtually normal now with people coming back. You know, the people are happy and they're, from that end of it, it seems to be left behind. Hopefully, you know. But it was a terrible time. I mean, it was a shocking time when you think about it. You know, like when you look back on it now, it was just a crazy time, wasn't it? Absolutely,
it's like a dream.
Yeah. I mean, I remember coming into the building here on Saturday mornings just to make sure that there was no leaks and stuff, you know. And we would have been one of the first activities to close and the last to open. That's the ball has been the nature
in coronavirus now, is it? Or
in the virus, in the lockdowns, we would have been the first to be. We would have been the first to be locked down and one of the last to open. If you know, because obviously the nature of the thing where you've people in close proximity to one another, and you know, but it was surreal. I'd come in here on a Saturday morning just to check the fridges and all were okay, and you know that there was no water leaks or that. And you'd walk in here at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock on a Saturday, and where normally the place would be humming and buzzing, just dead silent, like, you know, it was mad. You're just looking around and you just didn't know, was it ever going to come back or what was going to happen? And you know, now I will say, during the coronavirus, and we are talking about it, I'm not a party political person or a supporter of any party. But the government were very good to businesses.
I agree. I think they were,
absolutely very good. In fairness to them, I've always, the way I would have, I've said to people what they did was, it was like my analogy of it, Peter, was they put us in a deep freeze. That's the way I looked at it. You know, they actually just they gave us enough support to keep it there.
Yeah,
you know, and they were very good. And you know, I know people bash the government at every opportunity, and I do it myself over some of the stupid things they do, and you wonder how can it be so stupid. But yet, I think praise is deserved when they do get it right, and in the support and that they actually did get it right. I think, you know, and they certainly. Well, only for them, a lot of businesses, including ourselves, would have been gone, you know. So they deserve credit there, you know. But it was a terrible time, though, wasn't it? You know, for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I even see it there now. Like, just what, like in Cork now, Patrick Street is the main, I suppose, not the main street, but it's the most popular street now we have. And so, like, there's not necessarily loads of bars on Patrick Street. It's more just clothes shops and golden discs. I mean, that must be one of the last golden discs in the whole country, but it's still open. But But like, I mean, you know, it's famous, if you want to call it, for Cork. And like, even I was walking around it was only last Friday night, and half of the street is still closed.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
Where businesses didn't survive.
Gone. Good luck.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but go through any... Peter, I know you're talking about Cork now. Go through any village in Ireland at this moment in time. And I mean, any small village in Ireland. Drive through it and you'll just see the destruction. The places that closed and never opened. You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
It is scary. There's still that kind of ghost town feel.
Yeah.
In certain areas that you go. Like Patrick Street, there's a bit of an eerie ghost feeling about it. And then you go over to Oliver Plunkett Street, which is only maybe, let's call it 2 blocks, let's say.
Blocks away?
No, sorry, excuse me. 1 block away. And that's hopping.
Really?
There's loads of bars, restaurants on that one. But then, now, you see, here's the weird thing. You'd think the places are packed because there's so many people on the streets, even at night time, at a Friday night or Saturday night. But then you actually go into the bar and they're only half full.
Yeah. Well, you see, the cost of living has gone so high now, it's ridiculous. That's the problem. That is the problem, you know.
I'm hearing, I don't want to be depressing listeners, but look, you know, Jesus. I mean, it is horrendous. Did I hear, though, actually, that the rates for business, electricity and gas, have they gone down now? Did they say that they're starting to go down?
Electric Ireland are bringing them down, I think, from the 1st of April, as far as I know. They're bringing them down 10% or something. But they're still high. They're still hugely. Like, I mean, we got a bill. We got a bill the other day, or back a couple of months ago. Our normal bill, just calling figures, would be about 3,000, right? And we got a bill
a month now. Is it per month?
No, that'd be 2 months.
2 months. Is that for gas and electricity now?
No, just electricity, and only for one part of the building, the main part of the building. But we always 3,500, and we got a bill back a few months ago there for 1 month. Because they were exiting the market, the crowd we were with, was it Energy? I can't think of them now, but 11,500.
Jesus Christ!
For 3.5, 11,500. Like, I know it was a crazy one, and that was for a month.
So actually, if your bill was normally $3,000, it would be about 1,500 for the month. So it was almost about 77 times more.
7 or 8 times more, yeah. Now they were trying to pull a fast one on us, and we fought it and this, that, the other, and we didn't end up paying anything like that. But that's what's going on as well, you know. Apart from the cost of electricity, there's a lot of the utility companies are. They're not really being fair with the customers either. We know prices have gone up, but there's a lot of crap going on with them, and they're not bringing down the prices anything like they should. You know.
Yeah.
But again, the government have a support scheme for businesses, which helps as well. Over the last few months, you know, and again, that's very innovative thinking from them. In fairness to them, you know, like I said, credit where credit's due. They're doing their best to keep.
Yeah, I believe that too. Yeah, I really do. Maybe maybe we're innocent thinking that, but I genuinely think the honesty of it.
Yeah, maybe we are. Well, I mean, I suppose the proof of the pudding is in the eating, really, isn't it? And they are working, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, there's some corrupt guys in there, but there's corrupt people everywhere. You know, and then there's people that. Yeah, and people want to do some good, and I genuinely think that there's some guys in the government that actually want to help us.
Yeah. I know the level of bureaucracy in there is the biggest problem. Yeah. Business people can't get their heads around it, how it takes so long for them to make a decision. But that's just the way the wheel turns in government and in the civil service. And that's it. There's nothing we'll ever do to change that. I mean, they're just different. If they want to do something, they have to go through so many hoops. And whereas you or me want to do something, you just do it. That's done. Yeah. You know, and if you want to do something today, yeah, right, let's do that now. And it's done by this evening before you go home. Whereas that's the biggest problem. It's the bureaucracy in government is crazy. You know, the amount of layers and whatever. But how do you change it? I mean, they've been trying now since the foundation of the state. They still haven't got there, no more than any other country in the world, I suppose, if you look at it. You know?
Yeah, I suppose that's an advantage that a business owner has, where you're the man, you're the boss. You don't have to answer to anybody, but where they've got all these parties, they've got to sign it off, and all that.
Absolutely
garbage. I mean, you'd wonder how anything gets done sometimes.
You would
all the hoops.
You would. You know, and you know, government's the funny thing. It's like coalition. You can see it there with the different parties. You know, and the small party has so much power. It's wrong. The smaller parties in a coalition. You know, I mean, in a democracy, obviously, the most you go with the will of the people, the most people, which is as it should be. You know, but you know, you look at the parties up there, and I'm talking about the Greens, for instance. I'll call it out. You look at the Green Party. I mean, they only have how many in government? I don't know my numbers, but a tiny amount in comparison. You know, and the amount of stuff that they're getting through, you know, that wouldn't be going on, is wrong, in my opinion. It's completely wrong. They're not, you know, it's the balance in government, and they have to keep them happy, or the government comes down, because for the sake of whatever 5, 6, 7, I don't know how many people's in it. I'm not a political person by any means, but that's one of the downsides of democracy, I suppose, for want of a better word. You know, where the general will of the people is not being adhered to. You know, but look, you can talk about that all day. And
we could, we could.
We're not going to solve it.
Has the war affected business a little bit for the last few months?
Yeah. Well, hard one to call, Peter. Has it affected business? No, I think not particularly. I think people. Well, I see it now with people, especially after the 2 last years and that. You know, people want to get out and enjoy themselves as best they can. People are crying out to get back out there and just enjoy themselves and have a life. They've seen what it's like. We've all seen what it's like to lose 2 years of your life. And people, you know, and people just want to get out there now and say, let's have a blast. We've seen the other side of it now, you know. So from that point of view, no, the war hasn't. What it has done is drove up costs. That's the big killer. Do you know?
Yeah.
It's put up costs on everyone, you know. And that's the big downer, isn't it? I mean, it's across the board. You go into a shop, you go in wherever you go into now. It's you know, it's ridiculous, the price of everything, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and I think as well with the coronavirus, there's been some obviously horrendous bad stuff, but then there's been some good stuff too, and I think there's a huge advantage for people right now to like maximize their business with social media and online bookings. I know you obviously got the online booking there as well, but like everybody's attention's on on their phone right now. You know, I don't know what you're like, but most people when they go home and sit at night, they tend to watch a movie on Netflix, but at 2 minutes into the movie, they're scrolling through their phone. You know, the attention is all on the phone, and I mean, I've seen it even now. I've seen it even now where, like, with Activity Port now, where I'm traveling around the country previewing places, like previewed your place. Yeah. And I mean, and I see it like it's a bit of a market share, like a land grab. That's what I'm seeing, is that the more brands are building now because they're realizing the focus is actually now on social media. Completely. And that's where people need to get. And it's great to see, because like if you see back in the 50s, the medium changed from the radio to the TV. And then the problem was the TV was the new thing, but the problem was that some of the radio stars, the big, you know, the radio stars and the celebrities, they weren't sure whether it was fear of change, whether it was they just didn't believe in TV. They actually got lazy, and then the people that were rejected to be on the radio, they got the job then of being on TV, and then they became the TV stars, and they were the celebrity afterwards. Yeah. And I think that's exactly what's going on here now. We've got a situation where it's just the same thing, history repeating itself.
Absolutely. Yeah. And social media is brilliant. Like, it's fantastic. Yeah. Oh, no, and the phone is, you know, the phone is definitely. Now, it has its drawbacks as well, because it has killed the art of conversation. That's the other thing.
Well, how do you mean?
I mean, I see it myself. Like you see people out. And we say, just pick an example, a couple out for the evening.
Oh, right, yeah.
And the two of them are stuck in their phones. They're not talking. You know? Now, I'm guilty of it as well. I go out with my own wife, and I'll be sitting up, and she'll turn around and say, Liam, get off the phone, will you? I'm just checking this. And,
yeah.
We're all guilty of it, but it's a constant battle. It's actually, I kind of, in my own mind, call it is a battle between me and the phone when you'd be out. But it's so it has killed conversation a certain amount.
There's the good and bad with it.
That's the bad, yeah. That's the bad. But overall, in general, I mean, it's fantastic. You can just go on your phone now and literally do pretty much anything. Book your tickets, book this, book your flights, book anything you want to do. You know.
Whatever is quicker wins the game. That's the end of the line. If you've got an online booking system that you can book now tonight. Yeah. Like I've done some feedback now. Thank God you don't have this problem, but I've done some feedback with people that book online, and like mainly, especially the parents who've got the kids, and it's a Friday night. They're sitting at home on the couch watching Netflix or whatever it is, and the wife now is a bit agitated because the husband hasn't booked anything or planned anything or they haven't confirmed what to do for the weekend. Yeah. And then all of a sudden she's at the husband and saying, okay, what are we going to do? What can you check out? So they'll look up, let's say, K-Bowl bowling, let's say. They'll look at the local karting track down the road.
Whatever, yeah.
But you can't book the karting online. They'll actually book the bowling because you can book it right there then. And it's done. We'll go karting the next time.
Yeah. I was actually chatting to a guy back a few months ago, and it came up about booking and about booking tickets and that and the other. And he says, yeah, I do all my booking. He says for whether it's tickets or Ticketmaster or whatever we're doing. He said with the kids and the whole. He said I do it sitting up with herself in the bed at about 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
I said, there you go. He said it's the only time he's busy, man. And she's busy, they're a busy family and the three kids and the whole lot. He said, it's the only time that we can actually, together, say, okay, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? Right, let's go. Bump, bump, bump. It was phenomenal. Like, it's just a changed world and it's great. And it's great to see. But to come back, yeah, you're dead right. That's when people book. At 10, 11 o'clock at night is when they'll book their activities or their tickets or their, so that's it. You either stick with it or you drown. That's it. As a business.
I absolutely agree, and I think even in the next 5 years, it's gonna there is a loss for companies that don't have a booking system right now. Where if you don't, they'll go to K-Bowl because I don't have a booking system, and it's going to get worse and worse as the years go on. And if people don't adapt, well, good luck with that, sir. Good luck with that.
No, you've no chance. That's it. It's here, and it's and as you said, evolved like the radio, the TV. I mean, the TV is kind of nearly gone now, I think. I don't mean it generalising again, but the television is anything like it was before.
No, I mean the new TV is our phone.
That's it. Yeah.
And the TV is now the radio. It's background noise.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. You're dead right. 100%. It's amazing. Like, who would have ever thought it? And again, it's going more and more and more. It's not that it's going to stop. It's actually going. That's the way it's going. So TV is definitely, losing its appeal.
It is. I mean, and even when I previewed your Centre K-Bowl there now, what was it, about 2 months ago now? 2 months ago, yeah. It sometimes takes a bit of time for for people to view it and all that. But I mean, I think did I look at this morning? I think you've got 5,000 people who have watched the videos that I created in K-Bowl already. Now that's just on TikTok alone, right?
Yeah, I know.
But I mean, if you go back to the newspaper days, would you really get 5,000 people watching or seeing your ad that you have? I don't see it either.
Absolutely,
I don't see it.
Not,
and that's all for free.
Yeah. I know. No. Oh no, it's as you say, it's certainly killed the media industry, hasn't it?
It has, and I think it's going to get really interesting too when, like, they're even discussing now that when, like, fridges are going to get smart, belts are going to get smart, where there'll be a fridge now that, okay, you know, Peter, so he drinks two bottles of Budweiser every night when he comes home, and then the fridge will actually know when it gets to like 2 left in your fridge, and then the system will automatically know to reorder it for you.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's the way. That's the world. That's the way the world is going. You know, and it's proper. I mean, the world has always evolved, so it's great to see. You know, I
brilliant.
Love all that stuff. I think it's brilliant. You know, nobody can stay. You know, if you stand still, you're gone. Is my motto always.
100%.
You can't just because something is there and it's working away. Oh yeah, this is great. Let's just stay like this forever. Not at all. It just doesn't happen.
It doesn't. No.
If it did, we'd all be bored over 3 anyway.
So, Liam, tell us about K-Bowl before we wrap up today. Do anybody, the listeners, obviously they know when they clicked on to download the podcast, but tell us about K-Bowl.
Sure. Look, we're here since 2008, long time now. We're again constantly evolving. We're here in Ladytown Business Park in Naas here in Kildare. I suppose, what can I tell you about it? We try our best. We do our best with great staff, very good staff, and we get a huge amount of good reviews. Obviously, the odd person not happy, that happens. You'll never keep everybody happy, but we do our best. And when someone's not happy, personally, I like to find out why, and I like to see why, and try and rectify it as best we can. That's all you can do. But thankfully, that doesn't happen very often. Because, as I say, we have good staff, and in general, I find customers are brilliant. You know, I like people anyway. But, you know, 999 out of 1,000 people are lovely. I suppose it's probably the best way I can say it, you know. But no, we're here, as I said, we're here since 2008. I kind of landed into it by chance. But I love the business. I love it. I love it. I was in a completely different thing. I was an electrician by trade, and I suppose I was at buildings and all that kind of stuff most of my life, where you're in a completely different environment. And to come in here now after all the years, I just love it. I love it, and you're dealing with people, and you come around the corner and a little child bangs into you, you know, boom, and looks up at you, and like they're just so happy, and you see the smile on their face. It's great. But yeah, we're here. We're doing our best. We're as I say, we've the 12 lanes of bowling. We have our as you see probably from the podcast, 12 bowling lanes. We've our small kids play area. The Wacky World. We have our pool, air hockey, video games, kitchen, restaurant, bar. So we're trying to cater, I suppose, we are catering for everybody without being able to really, you know, specialise massively for one particular sector. But the good thing about it is a family can come in and all the ages are catered for, if you know what I mean. You know, the smaller kids can go to Wacky World and go on the slides and whatever. The older kids can bowl, and so can the parents can. And then there's the pool and the air hockey and the basketball and the different games. So that's us. As I say, we're here. How long are we here now? 23 minus 8. 15 years.
Oh wow! Okay, nice.
How quick? How it goes? It only seems like yesterday since when we opened here, but it's mad, absolutely mad. But
I can imagine.
It's great. I suppose the best thing I can say about it is every day I come here, I love coming here, and I suppose it's great to have a job like that, you know. But but no, we're here, and we're open 363 days a year. Just the only 2 days we close is Christmas Day and Stephen's Day.
Okay.
Otherwise we're open every single day of the year, you know.
And the website is kbowl.ie, isn't it?
www.kbowl.ie, that's our website. And again, we've our online booking there, which is a great help. And as we've just talked about there a few minutes ago, you know, and the packages, and we've various different packages then to suit people, and there's all sorts of, and we do offers and try and do special things then around things like, Valentine's Day or Mother's Day, or just little things to try and, change it around slightly, but no, look at we're plowing away and keeping going.
Good to see. Yeah, good to see.
And that's pretty much us. But as I say, we have a great customer base. I call them customers because I suppose the bowling alley, the bowling centre, and the games and the pools and the air hockeys and that, we're completely different from seaside resorts, if you know what I mean. Because you take these businesses at the seaside, they might only see the same. They're getting people that are only coming maybe once a year or twice a year or whatever, Whereas in our business here, we've returning customers all the time.
That's great.
The same cohort of people are coming here all the time. So you have to keep things. You have to keep changing things. Changing machines, putting in different things. Just to, otherwise people will just get. I know that the bowling is different, but after the bowling, then when they want to play the pool or the air hockey or the basketball, as much as we can, we try and change the odd machine so that there's something new for people to
try out
and have a go at, But the customers are great. We've great people that kind of enjoy it and they get the experience, and we do our best to give it, But the staff are fantastic. We have a great staff. We're very lucky with staff.
That's great. That's
now
great.
I think a lot of it has to do with we take on a lot of for birthday parties and that, a lot of younger staff. So it'll be their first job. To be in school, obviously, as birthday party hosts and that kind of thing, and they're coming into a fun environment, where it's happy, and it's that's a great help, and that's why I think that's why I think the staff are so good, because they can be happy. If you know where I'm coming from, it's not like
it's relaxed. Yeah,
it's relaxed, and it's kind of it's a fun place from that point of view. But no, and it's great. It's great to see. It's great to see. Sometimes you'll see people putting up a review, of how such a girl was fantastic at her birthday party today, and we're so happy, and that and that gives us all a great boost. Certainly me and the rest of the staff, because it's great to see it. You're not going to get it right all the time. Nobody does.
Yeah, of course.
You try and get it right as much as you can. So we're hoping.
Try and get it right as much as you can. Yeah,
that's it. So that's pretty much it, Peter.
Yeah. Well, Liam, listen, because I know you've got to get somewhere. I think it was for 12:30. But listen, thanks for coming on. And guys, check out.
Pleasure.
Yeah, it was good talk. And guys, make sure you check out kbowl.ie, and it's in Naas, County Kildare. And what's the business park again? Sorry,
Ladytown Business Park, Peter. Ladytown Business Park.
Ladytown Business Park.
Yeah.
Great, guys. Thanks for listening.
Lovely.
And Liam, thank you, sir. Pleasure to have you on.
Okay, guys.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.